says we're live. Morning, Matty.
Morning, Dad.
How are we?
By the sounds of it, we're pretty good.
Excellent. We're pretty wet.
Wow.
We had, I don't know, 20, 30 millimetres of rain overnight. A lot. The backyard is a swamp.
Fun.
That's not a lot by Queensland standards, I realise.
Well, you say that. Happens to be true, but
Keep telling stories of getting 120 millimetres of rain overnight. Just like, that wouldn't happen here. Because if it did, all the houses on the hillside would be at the bottom of the hill.
pretty much.
We're all on active clay, so I think just the entire surface would just pick up and leave.
Building on clay is good fun.
Yes.
My home is on clay, and it's pretty good fun. All the topsoil is washed off a few times.
Mm-hmm. Happens. So this is where we got to last week, the results thereof. Let's see. Focus. So they're not bad.
I reckon they're pretty good.
Happy with them. And what we're going to do today is the companion unit to these guys. So some orc spearmen. Everybody's groaning in dismay. But as usual, I'm thoroughly unprepared. So you have to start somewhere. Alright.
I don't think that Demonworld, as it currently stands, is a game that allows you to throw the all army of really big cool stuff at other army of really big cool stuff. I mean, I guess maybe you could, but it would be a bit silly. You need the spearmen, you need the bow guys, and you need the regular old troops. That's what makes an army an army.
That's right. This is why we're painting multiple troops of the same thing. What our long-suffering listener hasn't realised at this point is that I've got another 6 of these units to do at some point.
Well, I'm sure Clee knows that problem all too well.
Maybe I'll send them to him, get him to paint them.
What's that problem I know also well?
I got another 7 of these orc spearmen units to paint.
7 units?
Yeah.
My gosh. Wow.
Well, when you finish the dwarves, cough. Actually, we should just send some to Quentin for fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Getting through it now. There's not that many left now.
I'm impressed. Considering everything else that's been going on.
Yeah, got another unit on the table today. Heavy clan veterans.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they look wicked. And I've got my mortar, which I'm extremely excited to paint the crew of. They look excellent.
You know how you were saying, Matty, you can't make armies out of just really cool stuff?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm afraid with the dwarves and all of their cool stuff, you probably can.
How many dragons?
Oh, for the dwarves, none. But how many artillery pieces? That's the question.
Yeah, and I ordered
that's
much
fair.
more of those.
In the sale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not one of everything, but of most of the other artillery pieces.
So this will be the reason why RPE aren't sending me anything, because they're too busy filling your order.
To be honest, I actually haven't got any emails from them at all.
Mm.
So I don't expect a cent.
No. They've been busy. They've been short-handed for a few weeks due to various reasons, COVID included.
You probably can't even get to work without any petrol at the moment.
Oh yeah, fuel crisis. Because that's
that
what we
wasn't
need.
brought on by Brexit, was it?
Oops. No. Yeah, 2021's a topsy-turvy place to be.
And everyone was joking that last year was the worst year ever.
Mother Nature says, hold my beer.
Yep.
What are you painting, Matty?
Followers of the Knights of the Cleansing Dark.
Nice. So you've done the Knights?
I've done the Foot Knights.
Right.
Just thought I'd break it up a little. Actually, in truth, I should really get to it and buckle down and finish them off today. I'm sick of looking at them on the painting stand.
The painter's curse.
Well, up here you got my extra Isthac sale order out, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm expecting that to show up early next week.
That's very optimistic of you.
Well, here's the thing. Ordered on the 30th.
Mm-hmm.
It was dispatched on the 1st. According to the tracking, it left the UK on the 3rd.
Yes.
We're roughly 2 weeks past that.
Yes.
There's plenty of time for Australia Post to have its backside in gear. It should probably show up on the first or second day of the week.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Well, for us Antipodeans, getting a notification that Australia Post has got your parcel is usually not a cause for celebration at the moment, because it's usually 2 to 2.5 weeks after that you'll see anything at all.
Wow.
I've had stuff coming from New South Wales. It's taken 3.5 weeks, and yet I got a package from Hong Kong that took 8 days. So go figure.
That's because people are actually allowed to come to Victoria from Hong Kong.
Not New South Wales. This is the point I realised that I have completely missed painting the skin colour on the legs. Ah, boy. My head's still getting in the way, Matty.
Not in the main image, no.
Hopefully we don't have
Oh,
those...
there it is. And when you bent over for the painting pot.
Right.
Not while you're actually painting.
I move that there then.
Yeah, that worked a charm.
Camera angles. And you can see what I'm doing?
Yep.
It's like I bought one. I do apologise if the doggy noises in the background if they're coming through. The kids are playing.
I'm not hearing any dogs.
No. I can just hear bats.
I think that's a local problem.
Yep.
That's good fun.
Yeah, we got a lot of them.
They visit our palm trees fairly frequently.
Yeah, right. We got a colony of them. So when they're not at your house, they're at their house.
I was wondering what they were doing, getting up and flying off at 4 a.m.
Yeah, they that's quite late for our bats. Our bats are usually home at this time of year by then, and making an absolute
Cacophony. Racket. Yeah.
cacophony. Yeah, just spreading the news about where all the fruit was that they went and pillaged.
I wonder how that works for bats, because, you know, when they leave, there's no fruit left. So is it just like a big dick contest for them?
Yeah. Maybe they're just telling you that they saw something on the side of the M1, and then we're going to go check it out tomorrow night.
I have a Labrador that's doing a mean impression of Chewbacca at the moment. I'm somewhat glad that it isn't coming through the microphone, because when I upload the video to YouTube, we won't get done for copyright. Speaking of which, I have uploaded all the previous episodes I have recorded. So
Oh, cool.
there's something in the order of 22 or 23 hours worth more, in quotes, entertainment on YouTube, unquote.
Are you not entertained?
Well, I was entertained at the time I was recording them, that's for sure. I don't know that I'd be entertained watching them again, although I did have to try and figure out what I was doing in them to give them descriptions.
I'm painting stuff.
Today I painted stuff.
You could have used that other word that starts with F.
I could have. Then I would have had to have ticked a different box. I already had to tick that not for children box.
That could we talk about work.
Yeah, exactly right. Dear children of the world, do not grow up, do not get careers.
But then, you know, if you do, eventually you'll get to a point in life where you just want to play with your toys again all day, and that's pretty great.
It is, if you're in a position to be able to do that.
Otherwise, you get this angst.
Yep.
Might even throw them out of the cot.
There have been a few times in the last week or so I have definitely wanted to do that.
Yeah. So how come you've got 7 units of spearmen? How big's your orc army?
Yeah, quite large. But of course, 5 of those units are still in their packets. So this is only unit number 2. So that wasn't I telling you about that last week or the week before, about the fact that I think I'm probably only halfway through.
No, I didn't know that you only.
Yeah.
Wow. It must be bigger than the Romans.
I did. I think it is. I think it was 450 or 460 figures or something all up. And that's the orcs. Never mind the fact that they also sent me a human one as well, which I think is slightly smaller, but only just. I think it was in the range of 370 or 390 figures or something, from memory. I'd have to go and count them again. Not that bored. I'm actually slightly upbeat this morning. I don't want to drag myself back down again. It's like, I've got how much work to do?
Oh my gosh.
Hey Maddie, did you see the Facebook post I made yesterday?
Not yet. I haven't been on the Facebook. Just give me a second.
I just wanted your opinion, what you thought.
Oh, that's kind of you.
What's for breakfast, Clee?
Well, I've had one coffee, and I'll probably go back for a pot of coffee. Yeah, I don't feel like eating food at the moment,
Right.
so I'll stick to coffee.
Coffee is always good. How do you take it?
At the moment, I do it on the stovetop with a percolator, and I make myself a kind of a latte by frothing the milk in the old French press.
Oh, nice!
That's very clever.
Yeah, it works quite well. Gives me a nice.
It would.
And a whole French press of the froth milk equals a whole pot of my 6-cup percolator. So it works quite well.
So 6 cups of coffee later.
Yeah, I have one or two of those a day.
This is the effect that our favourite junior engineer has on you.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness me. And has the doctor told you that you've got a blood deficiency in your caffeine stream?
No, he said, yeah, there's nothing that we can see is wrong.
Nothing
So
that we can
obviously it's stress.
Right. Oh, goodness me.
Yeah. So
I think
I'll go back to the coffee then.
I think you need to relay that back to our favourite Ukrainian and just say, hey, come on, enough's enough.
So, Dan, the last thing that I see that was posted in that particular group was Cleese Dwarves.
No, I wasn't talking about Demonworld, as I was talking about. It was a personal post.
Oh. Oh, now I have to change accounts.
All the trouble I put you to for an opinion.
Oh shit. Yeah, okay. That's worth it.
You like that?
I do. I very much do.
Do you want to hear a funny story? So, 18 months ago, probably, ish, without being exact on the timelines, I was wandering around the House of War in Ringwood, which is, I think, Melbourne's biggest gaming store from the perspective of being able to play games in the store.
Now owns 2 Thunderhawks. 3
Thunderhawks, one of which was $35,000 Australian, which has set the record for the most expensive Games Workshop miniature ever bought. Anyhow, more power to them. They posted pictures of the fact that it arrived yesterday, and it's a pretty impressive thing. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. They've taken a lot of flack over that, but
like I said, all power to them, man.
All
I'd love
power.
to be able to drop 35 grand on a bloody miniature.
yeah, me too.
Fuck yeah.
They paid for that what I paid for my car. Anyhow.
Pretty special, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and it's not likely to go down in value either. But anyhow, I was wandering around House of War, and they had this box on the shelf, and I picked it up and I looked at the miniatures on the back of it and the artwork on the front of it and went, ooh, I really like that. That speaks to me. And this was the Operation Cold Front box that Corvus Belli had released a few years ago, and House of War really do like Infinity, and they have an extensive range of Infinity, and they have some of the best prices on Infinity in Australia.
Right.
So it'd be really nice if they were open so that I could go there and purchase some of this stuff off them. But anyhow, while we're locked down, I guess. So I picked that box up and I purchased it and I brought it home. Now, there are 2 factions in Cold Front. There's Ariadne and Aleph. And it was the Aleph that I fell in love with, because I really like the look, the style, the aesthetic. Anyhow, so then I discovered that there was an expansion pack called Beyond Cold Front, so I went and got that. Then I discovered there was a couple of individual figures, so I went and got those. Meanwhile, I still haven't painted them, because while I like the look of them, they intimidate me. Because the artwork is just so beautiful, etc., etc. 18 months later, and a significant sum of money, I have all the factions but 2, I think. One of which is Toha, and the other one is JSA, which is really an offshoot of Eugene plus non-aligned armies. Anyhow, that figure, Maddie, is the first Aleph figure I've painted, because I ended up with a rampant case of ADOS.
It is pretty intimidating.
Yep. And yet, when I sat down and painted it, it was less than a day and not that much work. So,
But it's lovely lead.
now I know where Sam's sound effect comes from.
Almost. It's beautifully weathered.
Yeah. Well, it's a combat bot, so I figure it's had some hard use.
Mm.
What sort of weathering techniques are you doing?
In that case, I'm using a fair bit of contrast paint, obviously, because blacks and whites. But there was a Longbeard grey dry brush over the top of it, and then I did the old silver brush tip flick to do the paint chipping, because I was too damn nervous to go anywhere near it with hairspray.
I was thinking
Yeah.
more along the lines of the red trim on the radiator fins and around the, I guess it's the drone core. And,
Just by hand.
yeah, that's come up really, really nice.
Yeah, the red and the purple plays off it really nicely. I mean, I've painted it with the production card in front of me, so it does represent the sort of the box art. It's a little bit different. It's not the same, but it was an attempt to get close to the box art. I'm nowhere near as good as those painters, though, so I'll just... like, stacking myself up against Angel Heraldes is never going to go well.
No, man. That guy's a beast.
Yeah. He's a genius with the airbrush. Oh, talking about mistakes, life lessons. See this? It'll show up in a minute on the feed.
Oh, yeah?
Now I really like these. I really like these base tops that I've come up with, and the pattern and all that kind of stuff. And I said to myself last night, I'd get a much better finish off it if I airbrushed the silver on. So I airbrushed the silver on. How long do you reckon it took me to get the metal flakes out of the airbrush?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm not doing that again. Except I will. But it's like, oh boy.
Yep, I can imagine that taking quite a while.
Oh no. No. Oh, here's something for you, Maddie.
Ah, well done.
So if you need any of those, let me know.
Yeah, I'll have to have a look at what the new stuff comes in with.
Oh, this is not going to go well.
Shouldn't be too bad, I think.
Yeah. Did you order some big stuff? Big beastmen or?
Yeah, I think there are some bigger beastmen in there, and the snow cannon.
Yep.
I nearly ordered one of those dark elf double-headed dragons and a separate rider, but I was running up against the limits of the bank account at that point. Because I figured the whole mix and match of the riders and the mounts is cool now that you've broken ground for it.
Yep. It is cool.
Maybe on the next order.
Or the one after that. I was a bit annoyed. I was assured that my July order was going to go Thursday. It didn't.
Wow. Is that mechs?
Yes. Okay. To be fair, it is 50 of them and one of each. So it's probably the most annoying order they've had this year.
Yeah.
Dragging 50 moulds out to cast one miniature out of each mould. That would be a nightmare. So,
Do they cast on demand, or do they have
Yeah.
rolling stock stuff?
they only keep a few individual items. Like,
Yeah.
they don't have an enormous amount of space to store stuff. So it would be they'd spin the mold, they'd take the miniature out that they need for the order, and they'd keep the ones that came out of the mold. You know, but they wouldn't keep spinning, I don't think, to have stock.
Yep.
So that would, you know, that order of mine would quite literally have been one guy for a few days, just getting a mold, prepping the mold, spinning it once, putting it away, going and getting the next one.
Yep.
So I certainly do empathise when completists like me do things like that. It's not terribly entertaining. But there are a couple of orders behind that one that I'm looking forward to as well, because we're heading into the critical mass 15mm sci-fi stuff.
Some of that stuff is very nice.
Yep. I was eyeing off some more of it too, to be honest, but I'm going to let them get through their current backlog before I order any more.
How many times have you said that in the last 6 months?
Ooh, I'm not sure I wanted to be reminded of that. More than once.
I was looking at the Thane again last night. Someone needs to stop me.
I've said it before, I'll say it again. Do not come to me for lessons on fiscal responsibility.
I'll be right back.
Righto.
I am looking forward to getting that next shipment. I'd like to try my hands at some ice witches.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with.
My flesh tones still aren't great. They have a bit of flesh.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Just a bit.
You'll have to work on your painting nipples technique too, because there's quite a few of those.
Oh, nice. I do have a pink in the range.
There you go. One of the things I did order last week or the week before, I don't know, I've lost track, was Army Painter have got a new paint set out which is solely devoted to painting skin tones. It's got 15 different colours and 3 washes, and they're different washes, they're not the ones that came with the original mega sets, so they're specific to different skin tonation.
Yeah, I think I do remember you telling me that. Or at least that you were... No, you definitely told me that you were looking forward to its release.
Mm-hmm.
I think you mentioned that it had come out as well.
Yeah, I did order it. Sadly, that's coming from the UK, so I'll see that maybe for Christmas.
Still probably quicker than out of Sydney.
Yes.
I think that's going to be a problem. The local Australian news from a couple of weeks ago, when Gladys fell on her sword over something that she was alleged to have being about to be investigated about.
Right.
The politics of it weren't any good, but the problem is that the person that replaced her has a penis. And so now Dictator Dan can have a proper pissing contest with him.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be a federation. And here we are, we've got the individual states at each other's throats.
Yeah, that's right.
It's ridiculous.
Of course it is. But has it actually ever been any different?
1939.
Slightly different circumstances. You could argue 1914 was the same.
A global threat.
Yeah, that's right.
War brings the best in everyone, doesn't it?
Sometimes. Depends. Possibly not the best to the people that are starting it. Possibly.
For a long time, I thought that the states surrendering their power of taxation to the federal government because of 1939 was a mistake, but the last couple of years, seeing the states at their absolute worst, I think, gee, I'm glad they haven't had 70 years of collecting taxation.
Mm-hmm. Right, skin tone's done. Time for some leather.
Time for some leather.
Get these guys to get their leather on.
One of these units you should paint with black leather and silver studs.
They could be the Blue Orcster cult.
Well, if you'll excuse me for a few minutes, I need to attend to something rather urgently.
Okay,
Enjoy.
thanks. I was going to ask what's on after the dwarves, but I've suddenly realised that you've ordered more dwarves. So, nothing.
Hey, I'm gonna have to go. Everyone's imploding.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Seems to be the morning for it. Right.
Yep.
Take it easy, man.
Cool, man. I'll talk to you
See you Monday.
Monday.
Cheers. Definitely gonna have to paint over that.
Hello again.
Hello. The world is sorted.
For the meanwhile, yeah.
Cool. Cleese had to disappear to sort out his own familial or domestic situation.
Poor bugger.
The kid's having a meltdown or something.
Well, that's no good.
Oh, there's another one. It's absolutely nothing like discovered that you've missed bits.
Well, yeah. I know exactly how that goes. Example, Knights of the Cleansing Dark, the ones I'm working on currently. Just as I'm about to go and put on a wash, I discovered that a few of them are wearing, you know, swords or daggers about the belt,
Yes.
which I had completely neglected.
Dare say that wash was postponed for some time then.
Yeah, couple of days.
Couple of days. So which figures in the Thane most take your fancy?
The more animalistic warrior types. The bear guys, and one of those packs of Thane bear troop guys has just got the greatest product description ever.
Yeah.
I think it reads something like 12 bear warriors and a bear in all caps. And a bear bit.
Right.
And I'm like, if that's not enough to grab your attention and say, holy crap, these guys are cool because they come with a bear, then I don't know what will. And there's something probably wrong with you.
Oh, don't worry, I know there's something wrong with me.
Yeah, or something else wrong with you then.
We don't have enough time for that.
Yes, and you don't pay me for therapy.
Oh, nope.
That's one of those things you're better off leaving to the professionals. I jest. I'm always here to chat if you want about anything. But, you know.
Right, well, let's chat about all of the red that I've missed on these guys.
Such a bright and cheery red.
It is. It's just called bright red.
That makes sense.
It is what it says it is on the tin. Unlike so many other things in life.
Yes. A shoebox of ostensibly $250 pumps, beautiful, immaculate condition, filled with cheap Peppa Pig toys.
Peppa Pig. Now, if they were Peppa Pig pumps...
Haven't seen any of those.
That'd be something else.
They probably do exist.
Probably.
And if they don't, I'd like 1% off the gross, please. I think that's pretty fair for the genesis of an idea.
Yes.
I've got $1 billion business idea.
Have you?
I don't have the funds to do it myself. All I ask is 1% off the top.
Right. Sadly, the people that do have the money to start a venture like that have the money to hire lawyers to make sure that you won't get your 1%.
True. Very true.
What have you got on for this weekend?
Once I finish polishing my boots, I'm going to down a cup of tea and a cup of coffee. There may be a nap on the cards.
Oh, a nap.
I sound like such an old man, I know.
I can't do it. I've never in my life been able to do that. If I have a sleep in the middle of the day, I wake up feeling like I've been run over by a bus and I just feel nauseous. And then to top all of that off, when I do go to bed, I don't sleep. So I just
Wow.
have to work through it. If I'm really, really tired during the middle of the day, I have to find some energy from somewhere and just push through, because the alternatives just don't work. And it has ever been thus.
I find I'm the opposite, actually.
Mm.
I only nap when I'm utterly destroyed through fatigue,
Mm.
which does happen from time to time. And it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with levels of activity.
Yeah.
But when I do, I'll go down, and I'll go down for 2 hours and no more. My body just wakes me up automatically at the 2-hour mark, literally to the minute.
Mm.
And that'll get me through the rest of the day, and then I'll sleep the sleep of the just.
Wow.
You know, that night.
Yeah.
No problems at all.
Yeah.
And I wake up feeling even better the next morning, which is weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I just can't do it. I don't know why. I just can't. And as for waking up refreshed, no.
Yeah, I know you've got problems with that.
Always wake up feeling worse than I did when I went to sleep. Now, within sort of being up about, 20 minutes, half an hour, it's back to status quo and on she goes.
Well, I think I found the solution for you then.
Hmm? Stay asleep?
No, never go to sleep.
Yeah,
Do the Kramer and sleep, 17 minutes in a day?
oh, see how that worked out for him.
Yeah, but that was him, and you're you.
Yeah.
I had a mate who tried it, actually.
Yeah.
I don't remember what happened to him. I just remember that he tried it because he was a Seinfeld fan.
Right. Nobody wants an overtired Dan, trust me. I get very bottom lip. Doing this stuff helps. Putting the head back together. That helps.
Outlets are good.
Yeah.
Outlets are necessary. There you go, that's my free psychoanalytical advice.
Get a hobby. No, I said get a hobby, not get 20. Had another Formula 1 car turn up yesterday.
Where from?
Well, this was what came from Hong Kong.
I was actually thinking about a new hobby for you. Just while you were talking about the Corvus Belly and
Yeah.
how intimidating and beautiful the photograph samples are.
Yeah.
Posters. Get poster size, like a poster printer, and do posters off the boxes.
Right.
And just vicariously do the Infinity stuff on posters instead of instead of actually putting brush on the metal.
Yeah, right. It's probably less stressful. If I had some more wall space in here, I would do something like that. Get some Infinity posters and put them up. I really like the aesthetic. I understand that it's very heavily anime inspired.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, can you see the expression on this?
That's great.
It's pretty adorable. Never mind the fact that it's a drone for a sniper.
Just the way its eyes are rolling.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm so
That's
cute.
great.
I'm so cute. Play with
Well,
me.
you would never expect like a cute little bunny rabbit hopping up to you to be like that.
And then the 50,
Something the sniper's looking at to distract you.
and the 50 cal round hits you in the back of the head. Don't need to do with them. It sounds to me like they have a lot of fun in that Corpus Belli office.
And that's the way a workplace should be.
It is. Absolutely.
Instead of trying to kill each other down phone lines. Yeah, let's just leave that at that.
Yep.
I will ask though, has that thing that you were looking forward to materializing for you materialized, or is that now on the back burner?
We have a couple of engineers starting on Monday from a consulting company that are going to take the load for maintaining the existing software, and that will free Clay and I to move on to aforementioned next project. So until that handover's done, we can't move, basically. And even after the handover's done, we need to be available.
So it'll take you 6 months to bring these consultant engineers online, and then...
Well, no, they'll be available Monday, and if they're not up to speed inside 2 weeks, then we got the duds. Because we've been assured that these guys are, you know, top quality, so we'll see.
Who was the person who made that particular pronouncement? Was it a hiring manager, or was it a manager?
I don't hold great faith in either, to be honest. These guys work for the consulting company that Glee came from.
So maybe you want a step above.
Step above what? Ordinary.
Yeah, or you can fill in your own adjective.
Yeah. All I'm looking for is competent. That's all I'm looking for. Because there's plenty of the other kind. But yeah, so I'll be rolling onto that new thing sort of by the start of November, I think. I've got an awful lot of ground to cover between now and then to get it prepared. So
Good fun. All good fun.
good fun. And I finally got my new laptop, because the existing one's 5 years old. And I spent quite a bit of one day fighting with audio drivers. the solution to that was a new headset, a new USB headset, not a 3.5mm jack plug-in headset. Now I just have to find the time at some point today to be able to tinker with that headset to make them a little bit more comfortable. Put a little bit of foam padding in different places.
I was going to say, you can always just rip out the drivers and the wiring and then 3D print yourself a new set of head holder things.
Yeah, they just need a little bit of foam. Just because I'm lacking any cushioning on the top of my head from natural sources, I'll have to use unnatural sources.
Had a couple of weeks come through the shop.
Did you?
Yeah.
Not sure a second-hand wig is all that appealing. To be honest, I'm not sure a first-hand wig is all that appealing. What am I up to? Belts and stuff. What colour did I do those? That'll be that. Let's put that away before you hurt yourself. Right. Onto the Alpatha leather colour. I'm managing to keep all of this in frame today. My hands aren't in the way, my head's not in the way.
You're doing well.
Anyone would think I've had some practice.
Well, it's only the second time out with the new setup, so...
I think it's a little bit better. I think
the figure being painted is more consistently in shot than it was previously, and there's less... No, I don't want to say there's more or less, I don't know, dead space in the larger picture image.
Well, you know, when somebody drops into the chat and the first thing they say is, hey, your hands are in the way. You're like, okay, that hasn't worked.
Well, I think that's only ever happened once.
Yep. And here we are, new and improved as a result of the feedback.
There's a bit of that going around, I hear.
Yeah.
I realise you don't probably get to catch up with it, but Don was doing Aether Stream pilots on his stream this week.
I saw the result.
I haven't yet. I'm saving it for the Kickstarter.
Right. He's extremely talented man.
That is for sure.
And a really nice guy to boot, so...
Well, I hope he's enjoying himself this weekend, giving the daughter-in-law... giving the daughter away.
Giving the daughter away. think I'll be doing that next year sometime.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Nothing to do with me.
All these wonderful life events that I've missed out on by just choosing to be single.
That wonderful spare time that you've had because you've chosen to be single. all those wonderful numbers in the positive in your bank account because you've chosen to be single. It's not better, it's not worse, it just is. But yeah, if you want to be $500,000 ahead of somebody else, and don't put a child through education.
Can barely afford my own education. Hell, I couldn't afford my own education.
Did you end up with a HEX debt?
No.
I did. And I didn't even have a degree to show for that. Anyhow.
Yeah, I wisely bailed out at the end of the first year.
Did you? No, I had a couple of goes at it. Mucked up the first degree, went to TAFE, went back to uni, mucked up the second degree. And when I was in my first job, I was earning a pittance, so it didn't really matter because I was below the repayment threshold. Then I went contracting. Paid my HEX debt off in a year. So yeah. So your professional skills are self-taught?
Oh, very much so. The ones that are useful in today's world, anyway.
Right, yeah.
Yes, I got very lucky with where I chose to leave that tertiary education because the particular course was disestablished that year.
Right.
And the credits did not roll over, so it was a wasted year anyway.
Bugger.
Yeah, I just didn't have the desire to repeat it because of fucking an administrative change.
No. Why would you? Imagine there were some very upset people about that.
I think that would have been a fair call to make. I never kept in touch with any of them.
Mm.
There's only one looker in the entire class, and she wasn't interested.
No. Yeah, I didn't keep up with any of my uni pals either.
I will say, though, that unusually for the field, half of them were women.
Yep. I've never experienced anything like 50%. IT always has and continues to be very male dominated.
Makes you wonder about all those various programs to create a gender balance in the various male-dominated things, with lots of government and NGO funds being thrown at them for absolutely no result. They've been going on for a decade at least now.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's come of them.
Nope. I have watched some stuff that suggests that the more free and egalitarian society becomes, the more trying to find the right words, the more polarised the workforce is with respect to the choices that the different genders make for the different careers. Completely contrary to what one might have thought was going to happen.
Well, that's cultural Marxism for you. Trying to force everyone to be the same when they're not.
And never will be.
Can never be.
You know. What was that? Don't judge a tree by how high it can jump.
Okay, so this cup of tea I made 2 hours ago. It's gone cold.
How dare it?
I imagine the cup of coffee I made at the same time as the cup of tea has done the same.
Sounds to me like you need the surfaces of a microwave.
They're in enamel cups.
Well, if they're in enamel cups, you could just put them straight back on the stove.
Yeah, I could probably do that, actually.
Good old tin mug.
Yeah, I like them.
I haven't had one of those since I was a kid. I think I want one. Where would I get one?
This one was a promo for a grooming products company that I quite like.
Right.
The mug itself is of excellent quality. Unfortunately, the enameled on company logo was largely faded away.
Is that fortunate or unfortunate?
Well, I would have liked it if the logo had stayed.
There you go. Displaying a little bit of brand loyalty.
Yeah. I also happen to be wearing a t-shirt from that same company.
I wouldn't know anything about that at all.
What, t-shirts?
Well, no, wearing any kind of branding.
Oh.
Oh, I missed this guy too. No. These last few statements have been firmly tongue-in-cheek because I'm sitting here in a Demonworld hoodie with a Fossil Corporation t-shirt on underneath it.
Well, it's very hard to see that. So
There's the Demonworld t-shirt, the hoodie. You wouldn't be able to see the Faster t-shirt, no. How many of those?
You realise I have to see if I can get me one of these hoodies.
Demonworld ones?
Yeah, despite the fact that I live in Queensland where it's never cold enough to wear winter gear ever.
Well, then you need to talk to me directly because they're not publicly available.
Oh, okay. Thank you for saving me the effort of searching and then getting angry when I couldn't find it.
Right. Where did he get that? Damn him. Want one. Yes, I happen to have made it.
Oh, okay. Is that another one of your hobbies, screen printing shirts?
Nope, but uploading images to places that produce wearable apparel is a thing.
Fair enough. Do you recall those mugs that I mentioned that I ordered back in August and took forever to arrive?
Yes.
Well, the short of the long is that the second of the two arrived this week.
Right.
Which is great. It's a fantastic mug. It's got an attractive design on it.
Mm-hmm.
Or attractive to me, at least. The problem is that the printing company smudged it.
Oh.
And I'm on the fence about going back to them and saying, hey, idiots, do your job right. Do it again.
I wouldn't be on the fence about that. I'd be taking a photo of it and going back to their customer support going, hey, this isn't of the quality that you led me to expect it would be.
Well, I tell you why I'm on the fence. It took nearly 2 months to arrive.
Well, that's okay. You've got one to tide you over for the 2 months it'll take for the replacement to arrive. If a replacement is forthcoming.
Exactly, and I just don't think I could be bothered at the moment.
Well, you know, if you don't have the energy to fight the fight, don't fight the fight.
I am a little bit tired of fighting losing battles.
Got a bit startled then. It looked like the sun had come out. That's not supposed to happen till Thursday.
Bureau of Meteorology usually has a good long descriptor for its local area forecasts, you know, with all the fancy stuff and the fancy words, because, you know, they're a government service and they have to give us good service.
Mm-hmm.
So when I checked the local forecast for today, about half an hour ago, I was quite surprised. It was just one word, sunny.
Sunny. There you go.
Considering that they'd been telling us literally every day this week that we're going to get massive storms, and that the actual radars themselves have been showing big weather events. big splotches of red hurtling towards the city.
Yeah.
On their density rain thingy.
Yep.
It hasn't bloody materialised since Wednesday. Well, Thursday, I should say. Thursday morning.
Yeah.
But they've been predicting all these giant storms, and it's just nothing.
So you haven't got them where you
are? Wednesday overnight, Thursday morning was the last time we had rain.
Right.
But they've been predicted and just not materialised.
Okay.
Up here they're blowing in from the north, so I rather suspect they're not your ones.
No, totally different weather pattern, because ours came up from the southeast. Was it southeast or no, southwest yesterday?
Yeah, I often get east and west confused. Particularly when I don't gesture with my hands to figure it out.
It's we almost always get our weather from the west. Almost always. It's just whether it's a northerly or a southerly that's driving it. And very, very infrequently, every now and then, you'll get something that comes in from the east, but it's really, really unusual. And I should have known that it came in from the southwest, because there's some bits and pieces that haven't gone into the workshop yet that are sitting out under the cover that is exposed to southwesterlies, and it's wet. So
how is the workshop coming along? Did you get anywhere further before the rain set in?
It's 3/4 up. All 4 walls are on. Most of the roof is on. It's just missing the 2 part panels at this end. So gutters, plumbing, personal access door, roller door, slab. The slab goes in before the personal door and the roller door. And all the sort of trimming and flashing, so the ridge capping's not on. So a lot of fiddly stuff. The plumbing's going to be nasty because it's got to be plumbed into the stormwater by law. So we have to dig down to find the stormwater. At least we know where that is.
Yeah, that always helps.
And, well, we know where it is because we hit the pit when we were digging the footings.
Whoops.
Well, the survey couldn't tell us where it was, so we had to find it by experiment.
How old's your house?
When was this put in? Mid-late 80s, I think. So, yeah. Yeah, they applied for, like, I've got all of the survey stuff. And they couldn't tell us where the stormwater is. We know where the sewer is. The sewer line's on the other side of the fence.
Hopefully because you didn't hit that as well.
No. I mean, that's a shitty experience.
Well played.
Somebody had to go there. Yeah, no, that we know where the sewer is. We've also got a trench for the electricity, so there's a 3-odd metre long 600mm trench got to get dug at some point, and the guys wisely decided not to do that before we got 40mm of rain.
Well, that makes a degree of sense.
Otherwise there would have been a linear swimming pool. But I don't know when the Sparky was due to do his work this week, just gone, but the builder put him off because the shed wasn't in enough of a state of completion to do that work. So I don't know when he'll be back. I think he's coming back after the slab is done. I think. Not sure. It changes day by day, depending on how much they get done. And I don't, like, the builder was threatening to come back to do work today, but honestly I just think it's too wet out there. It's a swamp, so you don't want to be sort of traipsing around in a swamp and then getting up on a ladder and going up on a steel roof.
No, that is one of those things that we in the construction industry call pretty fucking stupid.
Yep. So I imagine there's a fair bit he could do from ground level, but I just don't know. I think he'd be better off having a weekend and doing something else, just coming back during the week. But he's got 5 or 6 jobs on at the moment, so he might have to spend a couple of weeks sorting those jobs out before he gets back here. I don't know. I've waited 12 months for it. Another couple of weeks feels like it's going to kill me, but it probably won't. We're going to be putting plastic down under the slab too, so that the slab dries out completely. Because I don't, I've got a lot of moisture sensitive equipment that I don't want to go rusty. So that'll mean that instead of a 4-day dry on the slab, it'll probably be a 2-week dry.
Well, they've got additives for that.
Yep. So what is it? It's 28 square meters, 100 mil deep. So what's that? That's 2.8 cubic meters of concrete. That'll have to be barrowed in.
Yeah. Oh, you've got contractor money. If you hadn't spent it all on mountains of metal, you could have hired a boom pump.
No. A boom pump for a backyard garage. I think everybody would just look at us and shake their heads.
But it'd be done so much quicker.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. One of the things I need to do today is go and pick up a new wheelbarrow wheel, because when they were barrowing in the footings, the concrete for the footings, the front wheel of my wheelbarrow collapsed. The tyre just came apart. It's 10 years old, but and it's done a lot of hard work.
I was just about to make a crack about Bunnings.
Oh,
but that's fair. You've punished it a lot.
Yeah,
That's okay.
We literally really punished it, because it was the wheelbarrow that I used to fetch the wood in for the wood fire when we lived up in Emerald. So, it was constantly being moved backwards and forwards, full of red gum wood for the heater. So hundreds of kilos. So it actually has done a spectacularly good job, and there's actually nothing wrong with the frame and the tub, and it's a plastic tub. It's just the front wheel that had enough. We'd gone through a few inner tubes, and plastic wheels don't do well when you've got to use tyre levers on them to take tyres off to put inner tubes in, so it was really only a matter of time when I've got myself a metal wheel.
You'd be doing well if you broke that.
Yeah, well, I hope so. I hope it goes another 10 years.
Yeah, probably the tub will be given out before that.
Yeah, I would have thought so. But it's got do a lot more hard work, because I've got to shift all of the earth to do the paving between the alfresco area and the workshop.
Paving tiles. God.
I'm really looking forward to that. Not. And I've got to finish the driveway off. We decided that the clay in the driveway was too hard for the machine to shift, so I'm going to have to do it by hand. The machine literally bounced off the surface. It wouldn't dig in.
Oh dear.
So we could have got a bigger machine, but they just would have destroyed the driveway because it's a paving driveway. And they already broke one of them with one of the trucks. I think it was the concrete truck for the footings. Fun and games.
It's a never-ending battle.
Never-ending battle. And it's a big dark cavern at the moment, so it'll be nice when the sparky's been and the subboard's in and the lighting circuit's in and there are some lights in it. And then I can start the business of insulating it, lining it, putting cupboards and cabinets in and running the train layout.
So is that just going to run around the walls, or?
Pretty much. There'll be one spiral and one lower deck, which will just be offstage storage. They call staging. So a couple of unscenic sidings to store trains in.
Well, it's a space efficient layout, if not a particularly spectacular one.
Yeah, there'll be a couple of line side industries, but not a heck of a lot. The concession to operation this time around is I'm double tracking it, because the last one I had was only a single track, which means you can only run one train at a time. This one I'm going to run double track, so I can run two in opposite direction. Or the same direction. And I want to get, at some point in the not too distant future, I want to get a Shinkansen. Just because.
Fair enough.
What's the time, Matty?
For me or for you?
For you.
It's 8:37 here, so it's 9:37 for you.
Doing really well. I guess having started with a couple of colours on them, that's the reason why they've progressed so quickly. And I've missed the leather on this. Luckily, he's the last one.
So his leather's going to be wood green colour?
Nope. I've done that in the past. It doesn't work out. The other thing I've missed on this guy is a bit of red, so he's been neglected.
Well, at least you're noticing these things. I guess that's the danger of painting multiples of the same units over and over. You get into that groove and then you start forgetting things.
Yep. So what colour did I do their shields? Silver rims, silver rims. Okay. I'm also going to pick myself up some more aerosol primer for things like the bases, because the acrylic primer just doesn't stick to them. In my experience, other people's might be different. What's the other thing I printed yesterday was calibration gauges or calibration pieces for the laser cutter, because I figured the laser cutter is out of calibration. So there's a job for later in the day, realigning all of the mirrors in the laser cutter. You'll be able to hear me lose my will to live from there.
Such a busy weekend you've got.
Yep.
And here I am scheduling naps. Incredible.
I tell you what, if that whole napping thing worked for me, I'd be scheduling them in too. It's actually not a bad thing that I'm going to go and get that paint, because it means a trip on the freeway with the car, and the car hasn't been used for a fair while, so getting it to stretch its legs is probably a good thing.
Are you allowed to go freeway distances from your home?
15 kilometre radius. Given that I live less than a kilometre from the end of the freeway, it means I can travel up at like 14 kilometres.
Fair enough. I find it incredible that you guys, with your strict lockdowns and your overabundance of enthusiastic policing, are getting more cases in a day than up here has had ever. I just don't understand how that's supposed to work.
None of us down here understand it either, by the way. Well, none of us that are sitting in this particular chair understand it. I think there's a certain segment of the community that's just given up.
I think that's pretty fair. You guys are far more double vaccinated than we are too.
Yep. I had to submit my vaccination certificate to work.
Papers, please.
Papers, please. Yep.
G'day, James.
Hey, g'day, crew.
Good
How are you all?
Good morning. Good evening.
Yes. Welcome to International Time Zones, are us.
Yes, it doesn't help that us Antipodeans have gone on to summertime.
Speak for yourself, Southerner.
Well,
Had to cook dinner, so it is what it is.
right.
More orcs?
More orcs. These are not the blue orcs to cult. They'll be for a different painting session. And you'll need to go back into the live stream to figure out that joke.
Okay, I'll review it later.
No, Maddie was saying I should do the next lot with the black leather jerkins and bright metal studs. And
Well, it's either that or you go for like the denim jacket kind of look, and they all have switchblades, and then it's just like a, musical gangs of Chicago or whatever. It's a West Side Story thing going down.
Orkdom, yeah. No, I didn't.
Now that's an idea for a war game.
Yeah.
Where they all meet and basically dance in formations with switchblades and stuff, calling each other out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, crazier things have been done.
Certainly sillier war games have been published.
Crit Attack.
Fuzzy Heroes. Great game, that, by the way.
Fuzzy Heroes?
Yeah. The game of stuffed toys.
Well...
Played that one with my sons. It's great.
Isn't that sort of like Gaslands for plush toys?
It's been around for like decades. You basically you literally play it with whatever your kids' stuffed toys are, dinosaurs, plastic figures, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's got wargame rules and stuff for it, and scenarios, and I think there's a superhero version of it as well. You can give your toys superpowers and stuff.
Have you
I don't know if
played?
it's still being published. It may very well be.
Have you played Tiny Teddy Wars?
I have heard of Tiny Teddy Wars, but no, I think that this even predates that.
Yeah.
I had a sneaking suspicion it was written by an Australian guy, but don't quote me on that. It's been a very long time.
One of the very early role-playing sets I purchased was called Macho Women with Guns,
I do know that.
which probably
Good
wouldn't
game.
fly in today's PC sort of world, but yes. And I had all of the supplements. Renegade Nuns on Wheels, Batwing Bimbos from Hell, but it has since been misplaced. I like how you had skills in it, like shoot little guns, shoot big guns, run in high heels.
Well, it's kind of like the original Paranoia when that came out. They had some great ones.
Yeah, Paranoia
I like the one
predated
where
this by
basically-
some time.
I think one of the supplements is Hill Sector Blues. It's again been a long time. It had like a sheet of cutout characters, and as part of the scenario, when the horrible thing happens, of course, to your various player characters, it says take this sheet, disassemble it with a pair of scissors, take them outside, put them on your lawn, and get your lawnmower, fire up your lawnmower, and then run your lawnmower over the paper counters. This is what happens to the player characters. And rolls for explosive decompression in space, I think, for their Clones in Space supplement, which still
Right.
cracks me up. But anyway, back when games were just fun.
Do you remember the original MERP?
Oh yeah.
Some of the crit tables in that were great.
Yep. Well, it was like a stripped down version of Rollmaster.
Yeah. Well, the Rollmaster tables were the absolute crack up.
Yeah, we had a fairly long running MERP campaign, which basically stopped after I moved to the States. So, but yeah, good times. Just great game. Just if you roll doubles on your criticals, bad things are going to happen to your opponent, or your fumbles.
Skeletal structure is reduced to a gelatinous pulp. Stry spatula.
That's the one.
Nervous system acts as a superconductor. Oh no, nervous system acts as a lightning rod or something like that. Sad death, but provides light show for all present. Genius.
Sadly, Terry Ampthor passed away just recently.
Oh,
so
really?
yeah, he was 65 or something. So
Oh, that's not old enough.
no, I agree. I mean, yes, I agree. No, it's not old enough.
Mm. So what was for dinner, a chef of note?
I made a beef brisket for dinner tonight in the crock pot.
You had me excited
Barbecue.
until you said crockpot.
Oh, well, I would have done it in the smoker, but I didn't have 17 hours or so to spare to do it, proper style.
Someone's come up with a way to split the load over 2 different days. I'll see if I can find an article about it for you.
Again, need to get my smoker up and running first, but no, everybody wanted brisket, so it was like, okay, it's going to have to be this or nothing. So it turned out very well, though.
Yeah, it's just the idea of doing traditional barbecue. Like, someone gave me a recipe for doing beef ribs in a crock pot, and I'm like, dude, what's wrong with you? It's a lovely recipe. I just absolutely would not do it with beef ribs, because some things are sacrilegious.
My wife is seeing who I'm talking to. She's looking over my shoulder.
Hello!
Watching Dan paint.
It's a disembodied pair of hands.
Yep.
You
Yes.
didn't tell me he was painting miniatures.
Oh yeah, Dan paints miniatures. This is all he does. This is actually Dan's life. What you can't see under the table is the shackles that Ross is basically affixed to his legs.
Yeah, you wouldn't do it if you didn't love it.
Can't go anywhere. They're all in lockdown in Australia anyway, so they literally can't go anywhere.
Sucks to be us.
Australia has finally become the ultimate prison colony. There you go.
Well,
Be an Aussie.
some of us anyway. Those that live in the state named after Her Majesty are still relatively free.
Are you talking about yourself there or me? Because we both have that.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Good old Queen Vicky.
Oh, you done it now. Dawn's going to come on board.
Nice.
My wife's a gamer, so
Yeah.
just a moment.
Definitely going to be fixing these shields up afterwards, Manny. Just throwing paint left, right, and centre.
That's kind of what shields are for, isn't it?
Fixing up later.
I admit to struggling with shields and shield ideas. That's why my followers of the Knights of the Cleansing Dark that have shields are just got, well, they're painted up to be bare metal.
Right.
It's more intimidating that way, I figure.
Yeah.
You don't need to know who I am on my shield.
For I am the nobody that is going to end you.
Shields are totally overrated. So
Well, if you're a fan of sort of the Romany era, there's a whole bunch of fanatics there that are skyclad.
there was a thing I was watching. Lindy Page, I think his name is.
Yep.
The guy on YouTube. He was talking about a lot of the depictions of halberds and shields. Like for the longest time it was, that's a bit of an oxymoron. It's a two-handed weapon and a shield. I mean, what's the practicality of that?
Right.
Especially when you've got a weapon that is effectively a cutting weapon that's best used with two hands. But apparently it was actually a thing. So and there were actually some merits to it. Because, of course, all your guys, a lot of your orcs here have got two-handed spears and shields.
And shields. Yeah,
Shields being useful if you happen to be advancing towards the enemy and you can't yet contact them and destroy them up close and personal, but you don't want to get your asses shot. So
that's the one. Yeah, I've tried to watch Lindy Beige a couple of times. I'm afraid I struggle. It's just one of those things.
nice. Thanks for that, Matty. I'll add that to my list.
Yeah, no worries.
You
I picked up 30-pound of beef brisket from the supermarket the other day, so it was on special. It was like, okay, yep, right, done.
Yeah.
I again apologise for the puppy noises.
That's fine. We don't have to clean it up.
Yes, I'm only apologising for the noises. I'm not apologising for the smells. We don't have smell-o-vision, so I don't need to. I reckon we might even get to secret sourcing these. It'll be a heck of an effort.
You're certainly quicker at it than I am.
There may or may not have been a little bit more practice. Matty?
Yeah, I know, but still, it's still a legitimate comment.
True.
There we go. There's Dawn.
Hello.
Hello.
Unless she's on mute.
I'm here. Can you not hear me?
We can
I
now.
can hear you now.
Okay. Apparently I need to talk loud enough for the mic to pick me up.
Dan is the one painting, and Matt is the one not painting. But Matt runs a podcast for Earth Dawn in 1879. He does some good stuff.
I'd
Radio
go
Free Earth Dawn.
I'd go so far as to say excellent.
Sorry, I was understating it. I do apologise.
It's that typical New Zealander sort of understating things.
Yeah, you know it is.
Saying good when they mean brilliant. Last couple of episodes I've had some belly laughs out of it. It's been great.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. They were a lot of fun.
Listening to Hello Bird become Goodbye Bird.
Should post a link up, Maddie, in the stream chat.
You should.
Oh, alright, if you insist.
We do.
I do. Because then I don't have to hunt it down and find it and post it up.
So Dawn, how loud do you have to talk over James?
It depends on how much I want to be heard, I suppose.
I hear you're the
Normally I
gardener.
just poke him in the ribs.
Well, yeah. Just punch him in the brisket. So
Yeah, I garden. I get the gardens going, and then it just kind of takes over, and then he gets to do all the canning.
division of labour is a thing.
You mean I have a say in this?
Not sure we should go there.
Maddie's posted a couple
That
of
was
links
the
to
deal
the...
we made before we started.
Yeah. It's kind of like the deal I had with my old boss when I started in computers. When we were selling computers, the deal was I would carry the base system units and he would carry the monitors. This is back on the old IBM PC days when the base system units, where the actual computers were like dog heavy and the monitors were just monochrome and pretty light. And then, of course, things changed completely the other way around.
Yep.
And it was like, oh, why aren't you carrying the monitors? And it's like, huh, that's the deal. I got to carry the system units. You get to carry these hulking great color monitors.
19-inch CRT. You needed two blokes to carry it.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Mind you, those are the days where you could actually leave your car unlocked and full of computer gear in the streets while you were unloading it into the customer stores and nobody was going to steal it. Just not now.
Mm-hmm. Not now.
Simpler days. Yeah, Maddie's Radio Free Earth Dawn's worthwhile listening to, Dawn. It's small 30-minute bite-sized pieces. And even promised he was going to GM for us one day, so it's good.
He's fulfilled.
Apparently.
He's fulfilled that promise for me.
There you go.
I don't know where you all are based, so I can't really comment.
So,
Prison
Oh,
colony.
yeah.
Down under.
Okay.
I'm in Melbourne.
And
Well,
I'm
if you
in
can never
Brisbane.
manage to get out of the country, I guess. They won't let us in.
Nope.
I'm not sure which one's better, Melbourne or Brisbane. It's kind of a...
They just are.
Does that orc have green hair or a green hat?
It's a mohawk.
That is awesome.
You're not going to go for the orange spiked Troll Slayer, pseudo Troll Slayer look.
Not in these ones. But I might do that. I might put that on the ones with the black leather and the bright studs. That'd work.
It's their uniform coloring. You know which regiment it is by the color of their hair.
You've got it. Because you can't, can't tell them apart any other way.
We don't need a flag. We have us.
That's exactly right.
Dan volunteered to become the new Demonworld line developer, et al. Dawn.
Oh, okay.
Dawn is also one of the co-founders of FASA Games
Ah,
from back in the day.
there you
so
go.
just from a historical perspective.
So know all about it.
Ross.
Where?
I was there when we took the Demonworld license on, so
Well, yeah, we're trying to shift gears, but sadly, I'm attempting to drive too many cars at the same time at the moment. So, just done all of the modelling work for the EtherStream line. So.
So did you get these minis made in Australia, or did they send them down from Ralparth of Europe?
They sent them from Ralpath of Europe. I got a couple of
Oh,
decent sized boxes, 11, 12 pound boxes over the last few months. It's surprising that shipping from the UK to Australia is still reasonable, whereas shipping from the US to Australia is just obnoxious.
well, the USA is not part of the Commonwealth, so we don't get that break.
No, and oh, that was a drop too many. So yeah, all the stuff that I've been getting, that I've been painting, has been coming through RPE. Which means I'm getting to know Paul and Martin pretty well.
Actually meet them face to face someday. If they ever get over here.
Yeah.
A convention or something.
I would like to too. I'd actually like to meet Ross face to face. Known the guy more than 12 months now. Haven't met him. I apologise for
the
that.
same.
Apologise for the loud tradesman that has just turned up in the yard. There may or may not be some colourful language.
It was kind of weird meeting Ross for the first time.
Yeah.
I've been dealing with him since 2003. In fact, prior to that, 2002, on and off, but 2003.
Yeah.
And then not until actually getting over here and hitting our first conventions in, like, God, 2010, I think it was, Dawn. Might have been 2011.
Wow. So 6 or 7 years.
Yeah. So a year is nothing. It's
Nothing.
fine.
Yeah.
It is the nature of things.
It was an interesting discussion yesterday. All things Etherstream and what's happening with the next Kickstarter and price points and all that kind of stuff.
Which we'll talk about offline.
Yeah,
not on
online.
Recording.
I wasn't going to disclose any details, but it's
Just a nudge.
It's only.
I know we get carried away.
Yeah. It was only amusing from the perspective that I'd said to you that, oh, well, this will be a quick one because there's no Todd. Was it an hour and 20 minutes later or something?
Oh, longer than that. I was sitting there going like, oh, okay.
It was a long meeting. We went around and around and around. Of course, Andy's been away so long. There was all that catching up and lamentation over the quality of service from certain ISPs, etc., etc. But the one problem that we did solve was that I now have the ability to upload these recordings. So I have just uploaded 11 recordings to the Faster Games YouTube channel.
Excellent. Did you do some editing first?
No.
Son of a bitch.
Why?
It's okay. It's fine. I'm sure it'll be okay.
In what sense?
No reason.
Would you have liked me to have...
Some of the things I said about Maddie that, I wished I hadn't, I could take them back.
Oh, no. They're on public record
Were you
now.
stirring the pot, dear?
I'm not going to launch into a chorus of if I could turn back time. Don't worry. It's all good.
Oh, no.
That would be a good way to get it banned right away. Twitch would come in and just shut it down.
It's like, no, this is horrible. Not only are you breaching copyright, but no.
There's all kinds of ethics and morality rules as well, right?
You're butchering a song. You're butchering my eardrums.
No, it's the black bikini sitting on a cannon barrel.
Oh. I could do that, like a wrecking ball.
Oh, goodness me.
Mr. President, happy birthday. No, we won't.
I think Joe Biden would probably appreciate somebody singing that to him at the moment, wouldn't he?
I don't think he knows where he is, but that's a whole different topic.
Yeah, everybody keeps shouting at him where he is. That's why he's confused.
It's me. A photo I took the other night, James.
Photo?
Yeah. I was at a stop sign and I had a minute to wait on some traffic and I noticed there was something weird about the stop sign and there was a fuck biting sticker.
Oh dear.
Right.
Let's go, Brandon.
creative graffiti.
Yeah, there's a lot of it around here. Yeah.
There's signs hanging on people's fences.
Yeah.
So a lot of displeasure at the administration.
As there was for the previous one, as there was for the previous one.
Of course.
You just need to be reminded that this is the man who received more votes than any other presidential candidate in history.
From his basement.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. What I know about American politics, I learned from Hunter S. Thompson.
So you took a lot of drugs. Fear and loathing. You lived fear and loathing.
Fear and Loathing on the campaign trail. It's one of the best books I've ever read.
Depp's version of the movie is excellent too. But
is it?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the movie. And it's a long time ago I read that book. A long time ago. I was in college when I read that.
It's a trippy movie. It's one of those ones. So yeah.
Well, I mean, whose life is it based off?
Well, yeah. Hunter S. Thompson.
Hunter S. Thompson. Drugs and handguns. Interesting guy. We're just about at the end, folks. I've special sourced them. It's going to take an hour or so to dry. But we got to special sourcing them, which is an achievement. So they look like that. Hopefully in a few hours they'll start to look a bit like that.
And we'll see the end product up on the Facebook group, so that'll be great.
Absolutely. So, here we go. Thanks for joining, folks. Thanks for coming along, Dawn. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Maybe you guys can double team us again in the future. That'd be excellent. Having somebody keeping James under control is
What are you saying, Dan?
Yeah. I think he's hiring me to whack you upside the back of the head and get a little too inebriated.
Only if we can cut away. Only if we can cut away to visuals of that.
Oh.
We're just going to have to set some ground rules down here, Dan and Maddie, just so you both are on the level playing field, just to see how this. I'm actually lost. I've got no more words. I've got nothing.
That's quite a thing.
I'm quite comfortable with you being the butt of the jokes for a change, James. Very good. All right.
And this is why you don't want to go to Australia. It's not just full of all the poisonous stuff in the world. It's
everything wants to kill you. Everything.
It's full of gamers like this. So just be warned.
Hey, if you can't rib your friends, what's the point?
That's exactly right.
You want to go to an Australian gaming convention? Watch Squid Game on Netflix first, just to get a feel for what happens. When they say you're eliminated, yeah, they mean it.
If you want to go to an Australian gaming convention, then take a box of snuff with you.
Oh, really?
Or a case of soap and hand it out as you walk through.
That's pretty normal for most conventions, but yeah, great unwashed.
Yeah,
pretty unwashed. Yeah, summer convention.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say summer convention in Canberra with 150 gamers all in the same hall, and it's 38 degrees centigrade outside, and it's 40 centigrade inside. It's eye-wateringly unpleasant.
And on that note, Describe the new orcs
race.
for Demonworld.
These guys are clean living, I'll have you know. There's no orc stereotypes.
So they walked through a rainstorm before they got there?
Absolutely. So their feet are muddy. There are no green orcs here.
I was going with the eye-wateringly unpleasant, but the next challenge, of course, is Maddie. You need to work that into your next game, mate. You need to somehow work the term eye-wateringly unpleasant into your next 1879 podcast.
Can do that.
I've actually fumbled my chance at that already. Hang out for episode 21.
It's a perfect description of the drunken Scotsman.
Excellent. All right. Done.
Good stuff. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks, team.
See you all next week.
Great work as always.
Cheers. See ya.
Have a good one.